Support for Radio Friends comes from Home Instead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Home Instead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homeinstead.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, August the 17th. Mel Zelenak is with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Consumer and travel tips today. Consumer tips.
No,
right.
Today we're gonna talk about consumer tips,
right.
and
we're not gonna travel today.
No, unless we have time at the end.
Okay.
And fiduciary update. There's really no update since the last time I was on.
So we still don't know if it's going to remain in the law or if it's going to go away in January or February.
The closer we get, though, I'm getting more and more convinced we're going to have something in the law having to do with a fiduciary relationship for these retirement accounts only.
Okay.
Okay. Paul, we haven't used the true-false questions, multiple choice questions in quite a while.
Okay.
And I actually talked with a listener and asked, why don't we do that anymore? It's fun. So we're going to...
So you're going to make me look like I don't know what
No,
I'm talking about.
I think you'll probably know the answers to several of these.
Go ahead.
All right, number one, true-false question. The only annual fee charged by your financial planner is the expense ratio, which is typically 1% of your investment dollar.
I think that's false.
Why?
I think there are a couple of other fees in there too.
There are. And so you're correct. The vast majority of people, and my guess is the vast majority of our audience here, and indeed it's over 80% in nationwide of investors, believe the expense ratio is all that is paid. And many believe of that 80% that they only pay it once. And the fact is that your expenses will accumulate each year, and you want to keep that in mind.
Right. So you pay it. I know a lot of times when you get the statements, it comes out at the end of the year, right?
Yes.
Once a year.
Well, it depends. That does depend, but you'll get a statement. Typically, you'll get a statement at the end of the year telling what was accumulated during that year. But the rest of it gets very, very iffy because there's 3 or 4 other groups of fees that are charged that really aren't very easily disclosed. The expense ratio is fairly easy to understand. But what are some of those other fees? Do you have any idea? And in fairness to you, I don't think you're going to know.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I've read about them. I have read about them, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Let me point out that there's an excellent article in Forbes magazine, and it's called The Real Cost of Owning a Mutual Fund. It was actually back in 2011, April 4th, 2011 issue, but it's been redefined, if you will, in Money Magazine, the May 2017 issue.
Can you get these online?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so go to Money Magazine, May of 2017, and the article is called?
It has to do, the article is related to Jack Bogle, who runs Vanguard, and Tony Robbins, who wrote this book that I suggest everyone read called Money Master the Game. Mm-hmm. So those two, but Money Magazine, and they kind of highlight some of the things we've talked about on this show several different times.
Now, if you have mutual fund, explain what a mutual fund is. A mutual fund is a fund that invests in many different stocks in the stock market, correct? And it's managed by a manager. You're putting your money into this mutual fund, so you may own 20, 30, 40 different stocks.
Yeah. Or in my case, and what I recommend, I may own the whole stock market. And that's what the total stock market. See, many of our funds, that we've purchased for many, many years. And I'm telling you, it's in Vanguard Total Stock Market. And that's about 5,000 funds.
And you're owning the entire stock market.
Yeah.
So when the stock market goes up, you're going up, and when the stock market goes down, you're going down. Unlike owning an individual fund, which maybe it goes up, but the stock market goes down, and you still would
and basically, and we're being a little simplistic here,
right,
so I don't want to get a lot of negative responses to this. But generally speaking, when the market goes up X number of points, I know I've had a good day. If it goes down, I know I have a bad day. But overall, I really don't care, because I'm not going to touch that money for an extended period of time. Now, I'm not encouraging anyone who's 60, 70 years old to leave their financial advisor and move on necessarily, but I am encouraging young people, somebody just starting out, because over a lifetime, if you're investing over a 40-year period of time and you're doing it very, very often, okay, you're talking about saving as much as 60% or even 70% of your total amount of money you could get just by avoiding a lot of these fees that we're talking about. Keep in mind, and I'll give you the answer to this second one, these 3 or 4 groupings that I'm talking about, that's going to add about, on average, 4.17% per year to your cost. Now, that's an incredible amount of money, and very few people realize that. That includes, by the way, your expense ratio, what are called transaction costs, which is brokers' commissions when people are buying, when your financial planner is buying stocks for you, for example, somebody's got to pay for those commissions. Something called cash drag, which is just money that's held in a mutual fund account, or cash that's held in a mutual fund account that they're going to be using for potential redemptions from other investors in that fund.
That's really complicated. Is that article that you're talking about in Money Magazine, does that explain it all?
Yes, and that will explain it. But again, I think you just go to the Tony Robbins Money Master of the Game, and very, very quickly you're going to understand what we're talking about here.
All right, so the book is available at the Columbia Public Regional Library.
Yeah, as long as I don't have it out.
Because you wouldn't buy the book yourself. You would only check it out. It's Tony Robbins' Money Masters of the Game. And Mel, we're just about out of time.
Okay, and I want to say one other thing. The smartest investment book you'll ever read is far simpler to understand. This is an older edition, but it's by Dan Solin, S-O-L-I-N.
Okay, and it's available at the library too.
This one's a little bit more difficult to get. You can get it on audio, but it's a fantastic book. I used it in all my classes for about 15 years. And I have that personal copy
that you autographed for me.
Yes, you do.
Okay, it's called The Smartest Investment Book You'll Ever Read by Daniel R. Solin. Try to get it at the library. Read it. It's very easy to read, too.
Yes.
All right, Mel Zelenak, thank you so much for coming by. Pleasure having you here. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, one more time, the solar eclipse coming up with Angela Speck. Have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.